Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has just recently printed one of the largest red candles on the weekly time frame that we've seen in over 5 months, and it looks like it could be going lower. So let's dive into the charts today to talk about the recent price action and the possibility of an 86k retest in the rest of December, our short time frame bullish and bearish validations, as well as diving into total 3 to take a look at the rest of the altcoin market. As always, before we get into all that though, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If you're after even more analysis, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel, and if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. So before we dive right ahead into our analysis, if you guys missed the recent context of the price action or what's been going on in the world of risk asset markets, cryptocurrency, yada yada, in December, we recently got a 25 basis point cut as we expected by the Federal Reserve. But alongside that cut came some information about 2025 and potential changes to the schedule for rate cuts. So originally, we expected 6 rate cuts across 2025, and the new number is now 2. So a very, very big drop there in interest rates and a little bit of a pivot in the narrative from the Federal Reserve. And so naturally, the market has reacted quite negatively and approached December and 2025 with a very, very risk-off sort of approach. So across the board, we've seen pretty big drops, especially here on Bitcoin as well. So that drop, when we talked about it in my last video, we spoke about the most crucial level of support at that stage being $94,000, and which a loss of would take us down to retrace this next base of support over here at 91. So we've seen that play out, and we've now sort of established a new horizontal range here between 91, 92k as that base of support, and this upper range of resistance at $97,000. Now, very recently, diving into our analysis now, when we broke above $97,000, Bitcoin also went on to retest one of the 2 monthly uptrends that had existed on this 4-hour time frame over here. The second one starts from this point over here, maps out those 3 lows there, as you can see, and we've seen rejections from both retests of either trend lines, right? Over here, we saw that rejection upon retest and a continuation downwards to once again travel to 95k support. And secondly, over here, that rejection here, once again taking us down to $95,000. So if we take a look at the high time frame charts here, or the 4-hour time frame, what essentially we're seeing here is a confirmation of that breakdown, a confirmation on retesting and rejecting that Bitcoin has failed to flip the narrative and bounce successfully yet, despite this bullish move over here on the short time frame. And we can expect, therefore, on this 4-hour chart, that overall the price action should continue lower. Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BitUnex. We can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BitUnex is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. So overall, the charts are telling us that Bitcoin is looking quite bearish here on the high time frame charts, or the 4-hour time frame, and we know that it should be heading lower. Now, if we want to map out the future trajectory of Bitcoin, we need to be able to identify the key levels that are, going to be triggering the moves downwards or acting as supports for possible bounces. So right here on the short time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is sitting at support at $95,000, and we have a little bit of a short time frame downtrend, which we might break, and then that would support the idea of a bounce. So I'll talk about the short time frame in just a moment, but if we want to map out the future bearish trajectory, initially, a loss of 95k will then lead to a retest of this level of support right here at $92,000 to $91,000, and then a drop below the sell side liquidity for that level of support at, let me just zoom in to make sure I have the numbers correctly, at 90,700 is going to trigger a further bearish move. Now, it's important to note that that retest over here of $90,000 is also a retest of the prior low within that uptrend. So in that structural breakdown, then it gives us the next target, which is the range low for that same structure, taking Bitcoin all the way down to $86.6 thousand, right? So that is the full, this bearish target that we have here in terms of a correction for Bitcoin as per this chart. And of course, that's going to be triggered by the loss of sell-side liquidity, as well as this other range low that we have of our other uptrend here at 88,000 as well, right? 88.9 to $89,000 support. That is another crucial level that we need to see lost in order for Bitcoin to fully experience the drop to 86K. Now, currently, Bitcoin is at support. We can see that here at $95,000. In the circumstance that on the short time frame, on the hourly chart, which I'll zoom into in a moment, we end up breaking out of this downtrend over here and pushing back above this level of resistance at 98K, as well as sustaining it as a support to facilitate a break back into or back above the monthly uptrend and above $102,500. That is the circumstance that invalidates all of the bearish analysis that this chart basically suggests, right? Because we recovered key levels of support, we've recovered the monthly trend line, as well as the 200-day moving average here on the 4-hour time frame. All those three levels are very, very important. So in that circumstance, if Bitcoin manages to do that and breaks back above 102.5 is where the bearish case scenario completely invalidates, and we can expect on the successful support resistance flip of 102.5 that Bitcoin continues higher back up to $108,000, the current all-time high, and above that level of resistance back into price discovery. In that move back upwards as well, what we're looking for on the high time frame to signal that it has enough strength to break Bitcoin back above $108,000 is this shift here on the RSI. So right now we can see that over the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has been overextended, right? We've seen continued bullish moves or higher highs here on the price action while momentum drops and the buyers start to exhaust. And that trend line or that bearish, shift has created this trend line on the RSI. And if we want to see enough of a surge in strength and momentum that we actually see a leading indication of a push above 108, this trend line is what we're really, really looking for in that move. Also, on the short time frame, what we need to see is on the hourly chart. So right now we can see Bitcoin has started to form another short time frame downtrend. We had a previous short time frame downtrend that was lost, right? We broke out of that, but then decided to reject off. Didn't have the strength to, push back up that monthly uptrend, right? So we saw that rejection, a failed breakout, and then we formed another short time frame downtrend over here. So this short time frame downtrend goes against support at $95,000. So at horizontal support, if we see a bullish momentum shift that pushes Bitcoin above this corresponding trend line over here, we can then expect a bullish continuation right back up to retest the prior high in that trend line at 97,300, and then above that the range high here at 99.5. Now that is the circumstance where we start to look for potential breaks above the monthly uptrend on a 4-hour time frame. Until then, the bearish case scenario is still the most valid. All this would tell us, if we see that shift and then another rejection, is we've had another short time frame attempt or another short time frame rally upwards, leading to an unsuccessful high time frame bullish continuation. If we're looking for triggers to a move all the way back down to retest $92,000, we have our sell side liquidity here on the short time frame at 94.141K. That's the sell side liquidity for that base of support, the loss of which would take us further into our current bearish case scenario. So moving over onto total 3 to talk about the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Everything I said in my last video still is very much valid, right? So we have recently lost our level of support here at $950 billion, being the candle close there for the prior high on the weekly chart. And in losing that level of support, we can then expect a bearish move, which we saw down to 839, which is our current key macro bullish trigger. So if you missed that video and you don't know why I'm saying that, it is because this is the level of support that is equivalent to 48K on Bitcoin, right? It is the dead cat bounce level, right? And generally in every single bull market, it is a break at that level that pushes total 3 or Bitcoin to retest the all-time high, in breaking so price discovery. So total 3 failed to break into price discovery, but what we're looking for in that rejection is a sustenance of support at 839. That tells us that, okay, yeah, we're seeing a correction, we've overextended, altcoins have rallied, Bitcoin has rallied, everything is sort of correcting over, this sort of Christmas period, and the catalyst of which being that change in monetary policy. But we haven't seen so much of a shift that we are losing those macro bullish triggers. So we can see here from that recent weekly candle close that despite the fact that we lost support at 953 billion, and we retested that level as support there, we did not lose it, right? The close itself was above that level. That is, obviously not super bullish, but it's definitely not bearish, guys. It's telling us that there is still a little bit of hope here for altcoins once Bitcoin recovers. This being at that level of support facilitates altcoins to actually recover, bounce, and potentially retest 1.13 trillion once again, and in breaking that, have another shot at seeing price discovery. Zooming into the daily time frame, we can see here that we've had a daily candle close below our range of support at 953 billion, ending at 930. Right? So that tells us that we're very likely to then continue to chop within this range, 840 being our key support and 850 being our key resistance. And that means that it is quite likely that we're going to see a continued bearish move here for the time being into that lower range of support. Upon breaking 953 and closing a daily candle above this sort of buy side liquidity over here, that's when we can expect a bullish continuation to retest the all-time high for total 3 at 1.13. Until then, I would say it's very risky to try and buy any sort of dips for altcoins. The whole market is in a very risk-off approach, and until we see enough of a shift back into the bullish narrative, which of course I've discussed on Bitcoin, it is quite, I would say, speculative to try and purchase altcoins as of right now. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnext to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!